What's up everybody? Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the Burr method. Now, before we get started, today is a special day. You know why? It's because we're going to be starting a process. We're going to be following a process from the beginning to the end. I hope you're in for the ride. It's not going to be covered all in this video. There's going to be a playlist about this subject on the main dashboard of my channel, and so make sure to subscribe. Like the videos if you like it. Let me know what you like, what you don't, and if you can, share the video with a friend that loves real estate or loves Italy in general, loves investment strategies, and we can grow this channel together. Anyway, so now you've probably noticed that I am the type of person that likes to shoot for massive goals, because I feel that if I limit myself in any way, that I will be missing out on opportunities. Now, for example, if I wasn't this way, I probably wouldn't have met my wife in Italy, nor would I have 3 beautiful children today. I have 3 beautiful children. Anyway, jokes. So stay plugged into this channel, and you're definitely going to see me stretching myself, trying to become a better person, as well as trying to improve the situation for my family and share strategies that potentially would help your families as well. Okay, today is special because we have been in our house, as I mentioned 2 videos ago, 5 years. And, you know, it might be time for a change. We love it here, but our family is growing, and there's always a possibility to increase quality of life regarding like the size of our home, meaning 3 bedrooms as opposed to 2, or location, for example. Now, our cash reserve is limited, and mostly due to some events that happened last summer. Anyway, that's past is in the past. We're looking forward. It does kind of limit us on what we can do, or does it? Maybe we just have to become a little bit more creative, and that's what we intend to do today using the Burr method. With this home that we live in right now, we've talked about it before. If you haven't checked it out before, go back and watch that video. This is going to be the canon information of this channel. This is the core topic, personal finance, investing in Italy, and how to kind of increase your passive income flow using properties. Now, this home here, we've paid off. We've lived 5 years without a mortgage, and it's been extremely liberating, and I don't intend to change anything about that. We will not risk our current home or our home at any given time because of business. Now, but we also have 2 apartments that are cash flowing right now. The cost was very low for all 3 properties, and there is definitely a potential if we look at these properties. Okay, so like I said, we have to think creatively. That brings in the topic of today, which is the Burr method. What is it? I'm not going to talk about as much of like what it is in depth. There's lots of videos on YouTube, on different blogs that you can check out. I believe the term was coined by Brandon Turner and was influenced, like there's a calculator for the Burr method on biggerpockets.com. I can link you to that down in the description. I've made my own calculator using Google Sheets, but I've not used theirs. I'm going to link it just in case you're interested. We fit right in line with the Burr method because, and I'll show you what it is. First, what does the Burr method stand for? It means buy, remodel, rent, refinance, and repeat. Okay, we've got those 5 steps, 5 principal steps for this process. Now, we have been implementing a buy and hold, which is more or less buy, renovate. You don't have to renovate. We always renovate and then rent our properties out. Okay, and we hold them, and we wait for that value to increase, or we gain money through passive income rents. Okay, so that's our strategy, and so we're going to talk about how we can take and adapt the Burr method into what we're already doing. So what the Burr method is a strategy, a 5-step strategy. If it is calculated and executed well, you can take a buy and hold strategy, and you can create cash to reinvest potentially into future properties. And so it's a way of snowballing that initial investment and keep using that initial investment plus more if you do it right and build a start building an empire, I guess you would say. Now this cash that is created, if you've read the book Why the Rich Are Getting Richer by Robert Kiyosaki, you know what I'm talking about. He talks about it being phantom income, and it fits into a special category of income where taxes have less impact. And you better read for yourself. That link is also in the description. This is an Amazon link. If you buy it, Amazon pays me a little bit, but anyway, don't worry, just check out the book for yourself. Hopefully you've read it already. This idea of creating money from creating value in real estate, okay, this is what it's all based on. We could talk all day about the pros and cons of the Burr method. My intention is to talk about, is it feasible in Italy? Is it feasible with our properties right now? Okay, so we're going to be exploring what it takes. We're going to be creating an action list of how to accomplish the Burr method today. Okay, so first we need to set up some ground rules. We want to define our investment, and we don't want to surpass this, because if we follow these ground rules, we'll be protected from any future losses, or that's the intention anyway. Number one is I will never live in a property again where I am personally having to pay a mortgage on my property with the potential of losing it. Save one specific case where we are house hacking, where we live in a portion and the rent is being paid by another renter that's living in another portion of the property, and actually that is what we intend to do. But I don't want to risk our primary residence. The best case scenario would be for me to find a property that I can take and buy cash, and over time renovate it and split it into two, and initiate with this house hacking idea. If you don't know what house hacking idea is, go check out people like Graham Stephan, or many blogs out there that talk about the benefits of house hacking. That's not the purpose of today. Rule number two, we don't want to exaggerate any leveraging. When people exaggerate leveraging and the market goes down and they lose their job, these are the moments where investors start losing properties. They have to sell it off quick, and we start losing money left and right in this case. So we're going to avoid this situation. We're not going to exaggerate. We're going to make sure we're within a safe boundary, whether we could cover the property or not personally, even if the renters didn't cover it for us. Rule number three, if we do this refinancing and gain some cash back, we are going to invest that cash in an active asset that is producing more cash every single day, every single month. Okay, we don't want to take that money out and put it into like a vacation one time only, or put it into like a boat or something that pulls more money out of our account. We want to create a passive income situation, an increase of passive income. Okay, so that's rule number three. Okay, rule number four, we're gonna have fun. Actually, you know what? Rule number four is press the subscribe button, please. You have to do that. No, like the button. No, press the like button, please. No, I'm kidding. Rule number four is that we don't want to decrease our standard of living. We don't want to go down to like a one bedroom. If we can at least stay the same, that's okay. But I prefer to get in a situation where we're in a 3-bedroom, closer to my wife's work, and it has a genuine feel of improving life. That's the whole goal here. We're all trying to shoot for that life improvement. I get the idea of sacrificing a little bit to gain a lot, but we're going to either stay the same, or we're going to increase our standard of living based on our own standards. All right, the standards are up to you. So these are our 4 rules. So this whole process is going to be a multi-phase process about calculations, talking to people, talking to banks, finding properties, and you're going to witness it all. I'm going to record everything we're doing, and you're going to see step by step on that playlist. So make sure you keep coming back and checking out what stage in the process we're currently in. Right now we are in the planning stage. We're going to be doing a lot of hypothesis. We're actually going to jump on the computer here in a minute and actually look at some actual data from the market here. So what is our current position in the Burr method? since it fits very well in line with the buy and hold strategy, we've actually already positioned 3 properties, 1, 2, 3 steps in, and all we need to do is accomplish step 4 and step 5. So it's actually not a big stretch for us to be doing this. We just have to do it intelligently and make sure we find the correct products. So the Burr method, what are they? Buy, rehab, rent. Okay, we've reached this point. I'm including also our primary residence now because the intention is after we figure out the details to purchase a property, move into that, and rent the current property out. Not to sell it, but to rent it. So there is potential for taking out a loan on this property, and since we have 0 down on it, we won't have to lose anything out. We pull out all the cash. So it will take a specific product to do that, but it'll allow us to pay cash for the next property, and there are plenty of opportunities for buying properties with cash here. So all that's left is the refinance and repeat steps to reinvest. And when we talk, so what is that? Step 4, refinance. What is that going to take? Well, it's going to take a few things. First of all, this whole thing is about building value. We need to take a step back to step 2 where we add where we renovate or something. And the point of renovation is so you take something that's broken down, you invest a small amount of capital, and that capital creates a value that is more than the capital itself, right? This is how you would create cash from real estate. That assumed value when it is sold, or what the bank will offer, what you can get from the bank in regards to a mortgage. Okay, and so this is what the first step. The first step, honestly, is to buy at a low price. The second step is to target, when you're renovating, target things that will increase the value of the property more. And then step 3, the higher the rent is, the higher that you can prove that the value has increased. So it has additionally is like a baseline for calculating how much of a new mortgage on the step 4 you can afford, because you don't want to pay more than what you're getting from rent. You don't want to have to add more money from your pocket. You definitely want to still take a cash flow, a high one if possible, but the intention is to take as much equity out of it and put that in your pocket, but not just to leave it in your pocket, but to take it to step 5 and reinvest it. So what is the first information we need to find out? Let's start creating that action plan. Step 1, it's all about value. We need to know, after we've rented this property, what is our property worth? That is the next step in our situation. Okay, if you've never done this before, your first step is going to be to find the first property and begin, or to use whatever you've got and start from there. And maybe it's to renovate first. Okay, we're going to start with a pre-appraisal, or finding a valuation for our property, and there are many ways to do that. I actually had an appointment set up on October 5th, and that fell through based on us being, doing some renovations at that point, and just not being in contact very well with the guy who was going to come give that pre-appraisal. But I plan tomorrow, I will get on the phone and I will get that appraisal as soon as possible, so we can really see the value of this property right now. I mean, I might be disappointed, I might be very well surprised. We're going to use some hypothetical numbers today because this market is so variable. It has so many variables. I don't know the exact value of my property today, but we will find out. Obviously, after the pre-appraisal, that's not going to be enough to finish the process. We need to go to where the products are being offered. We need to go to the bank. So step 2 on our action list is to talk to the banks and find the right product, because each bank will have different products. We're going to start setting up 2 situations here. Okay, I've got my home, because it's going to require one product, and I have this other side of the equation, my apartments, which require a different product, and I'm going to talk to you about why that is. For example, if you're familiar with the mortgage industry, there are liquidity loans, and there are substitution loans or consolidation loans, debt consolidation, the different types. So this one's we don't owe anything, so we don't have to pay off a balance and pull out money. We just need to pull money out in general. And there are different rules there. When the banks see you doing that, they actually often will only offer you the chance to do 50% of the value. For example, if my home is worth 100,000, easy math, we could take out 50,000, put it in our pockets because we don't have to pay off any loans, okay? But on the other side, and usually the interest rates are a little bit higher for this situation as well. For the other side, I have a small mortgage. I have about 27,000, and it's a 15-year mortgage. I have two variables I can change. I can extend it to a 30-year mortgage and pull out cash, a higher amount of cash based on the valuation, and it could be potentially from 50 to 80% depending on which bank I talk to. So there's a lot more play on this side, but there's a special situation. I bought one property, divided it into two, and now I have two properties that have different values potentially. One is 110 square meters and one is 90 square meters. Now they're identical to a certain degree, same location, same number of bedrooms, but the different square meters would probably change the valuation slightly. Now, in this case, the issue is that I have one mortgage to pay off, and I will have to create two mortgages potentially. I don't know the answer to that. I will have to create two mortgages to cover two properties since the parcels are split at this point. We'll find out. Talking about these products is actually been a difficult subject for me because of my limited Italian knowledge over the years. I've learned certain things about the mortgage industry. I know the terminology. But what's interesting, we're going to hop in now and talk about some of these. I'm using a website to compare rates, and the first website I was following, actually, I watched them literally go from, I understand the terms and there's the product I want, to taking off like, okay, that one's gone, that one's gone, that's gone. So they're not even an option anymore, and there's been a new one that's replaced. There has been a new one that has replaced them. But doing a research just today, it's not working right. There's nothing popping up, so that website's got some issues. So I found a different one, and it's showing a lot better information, and we're gonna jump into that in a second. What we're looking for is the highest loan to value possible, still factoring in all of our necessities, like how much we can afford, but we definitely want to find the right product that will allow us to cover these new monthly mortgage costs, pull out as much money as we can so that we can reinvest it into another property paying cash. Okay, that's the intention. All right, let's look at it right now. All right, so we're looking at some banks online. I'm using this comparison website. This is a new one. The other one I was using, I was explaining, had some changes and I don't understand. This one actually has the similar to what I saw before. So apparently they're not communicating. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, this one also has some weird calculations going on. So anyway, it's always best to go talk to the banks, but for right now, we're gonna do some pre-checking. You can probably see better now. Okay, so we're calculating the most advantageous mortgages for you. Mortgage purpose, select the purpose, replacement and liquidity. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the two situations. So I need to find both replacement and liquidity plus liquid assets. There are a lot of options here: purchasing, restructuring, debt consolidation. These two are probably the best solutions for our situation. If I start with my home, I want a 30-year loan if I can. I want to pretend it's 100,000 euros. I want to request 70, see if it works. I put in my name and my pretend phone number. Don't want them calling me. Okay, so I accept these conditions and I go, and I didn't select a location. I don't know, let's say Carpiano. It sounds like a fish. So this will pop up and show me the names of banks that have more. Oh, there is nobody who's offering this kind of loan. If I change it, this was fixed loan, variable loan. I do not want a variable loan. I avoid them. So I can change it. Maybe if I change it to 20 years, still nothing. If I change it to the problem as being the loan to value ratio. Now I do know that Okay, so I've got one bank. I knew about this bank, and it's offering a 207 euro loan. You can see the taxes. They've got a weird calculation. I don't understand what tag is or tasso. If I change it, it's not gonna change anything. A rate is in general. It talks about a plus of 2.6, right? Anyway, I usually go by the top number, but I think 2.89 is the accurate number for the mortgage rate. The rates are really low right now. There are better ones. Actually, liquidity loans are higher. Okay, liquidity loans have a higher rate. Now, an investigation will cost me 500 euros, and that's like basically the bank's operations, and 300 euros for getting an inspection report to actually evaluate the property. That's something I will have to pay for closing on this loan. So 207 is not bad. I'm hiding the bank because I don't really know the rules about that kind of stuff, so it's hiding. So that is interesting. So I do have an option of 207 euros per month. Now I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna start talking about the replace. Anyway, so this one, characteristics of the mortgage, 100,000, 50,000. I think there is a bottom limit. I think you have to have. It says I have to recalculate. Maybe it's the 20-year. Enter a value. Oh yeah, this is the one that has to at least pay over 50,000 euros. Yeah, it's so weird. Okay. Anyway, I want 75,000 for a loan. The value of the property is 100,000, and the rest of the loan I have to have is 50,000. I think it's just this website that cares. I don't think they care how much they have to pay the other bank. I really don't, but I could be wrong. Anyway, I'm seeing some options here of 346 euros for. The point is, it was a 20-year. If I stick with 30 years, I've got 301 euros for this situation. Let's see. If I go down to 70, I can get up to 75%. Now I've got two options. I've got the bank from previously offering 276 euros and another bank for 281, and the rates are about the same as previously, and so are the closing costs. It's looking pretty good. I like what I'm seeing. I like that there are some banks that are offering this. I mean, I had to go, and I found this other bank, for example, that actually said they'll go down to 30,000 that I could request. I could literally just pay off the other one and get like a few thousand, or I could go all the way up to 250,000, but it can't be over 70% of the value. And so I know there's a bank that will offer 70%, but they will only do 20-year loans. They won't do 30-year loans. So it was nice to see there were some doing longer loan terms. You asked me why. I would prefer to pay a longer period to reduce that cash flow, reduce the amount so I can increase my cash flow, because I'm probably just going to sell it and not pay the whole interest anyway before 30 years is over. Anyway, cash now is better than cash later. Here's another example. This is the bank that we saw just a second ago on that comparison website. And I like the way they've got this all set up. Again, I hit it. But interesting, this is a surrogate loan. A surrogate loan replaces another one. So they don't do the liquidity only in this case. But the value of the property, I like this. Watch this. So it says that, I'm sorry, the value, let's see if I can change that. The value of the property is too low to allow the disbursement of the minimum loan amount of 70. Okay, so they have a minimum of the loan amount. You have to have at least 75%. So I have to have a valuation of 100,000 to make them happy. Now, what happens if my house is valued higher? It means I get a bigger house. Can you see? Okay, now if I get a bigger house, they add an additional portion. And now if it's a $1 million property, I get a garage. Anyway, I thought that was fun. If it goes up to $1 million, click, 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 click. 1 million, and so 500,000 and $1 million property are the same. I don't know. Let's see. Let's change it to 2. 2. So after 500,000, everything's just gravy, right? It's all the same. All right, we saw some mortgage products. Sorry about that one that was kind of hidden at the top. I didn't notice when I was recording it, and I don't have time to fix it. But you could see it was about 207 euros, 276 on the other case. Anyway, so let's talk about our options. We have my home on this side and my apartments on this side. I have to show you, we're going to assume this one is about 100,000. It's a townhouse. Now this one, we have to assume, we're going to leave it at 100,000 for calculation purposes as well. Because, for example, this one has a project that is due to fix the external walls, and we don't know when that's happening. An evaluation of this property would potentially show this needs to be fixed, therefore let's take that amount out. So it's not going to be as high, even though the space is almost as much as my home, okay? Anyway, so we have 100,000, 100,000, they're pretty comparable, but because of the different products, as you saw, the liquidity versus the substitution plus liquidity, they had different rates, higher interest rate, lower interest rate, as well as different loan to value ratios. Like this, we could see a 50%. I think we could find a different one, like a 70%, but this one we did see 70% as well, 75 even. But let's use that 70%. So let's say option one. Let's call this option A. This is my home. We evaluated it to be a 100,000. And we saw that that one bank was willing to offer us 50,000, and we would pay for 30 years 207 euros a month. Well, can I afford that? If I put this property in the rental market, we saw from 2 videos past that this community should be able to charge 5.90 euros per square meter, which puts us at 737. Now we're probably what drags the average down a little bit, because this is an older section of the neighborhood, like the historical district, very small. So I'm going to say, let's estimate really low, conservatively, and let's say 500 for easy math. So if I take 500, first I should consider my taxes, and I've seen that my taxes are probably about 40%. So I can keep about 60, and from 60%, that's 300 euros. Out of the 300 euros remaining, I'm going to have to take 207 and pay off the new mortgage. Okay, so I don't know if 93 euros is a good amount of return, but considering that I have, at this point, pulled out every single dollar, every single euro I put into the property, it's actually considered an infinite return, because cash on cash, what is 97 or 93 euros per month divided by 0? It's a lot. No, it's infinite. Like, you can't do that calculation. It's just making cash out of no investment. So it's actually a nice situation. Not as fun to look at the numbers that way, but it's a nice situation. Now, we have to determine if that is a safe enough situation for us to take upon. Can we afford 207 euros, assuming nobody comes in and rents the property? Is it worth renting it to earn 93 euros so that we can have 50,000 euros back in our pocket? I would say yes, personally. And I like seeing that there are solutions for this here in Italy. There are some questions to answer though. Let's move on over to option B. We have 100,000. The loan to value ratio changes to 70%, 75, but we're going to say 70%. And from 70%, we saw 276 euros per month. Okay, that was based on those tax rates or the interest rates that we saw. So 276. Currently, I'm paying 191 euros because I had a 15-year mortgage, taking out 70,000 euros, paying back the 7,000 euros that I owe now. What is that? 70,000 minus 27,000 would be 43,000 euros that I'm pulling out and putting in my pocket in reinvesting. So I'm close to moving into step 5 with these options. 43,000 sounds like a lot. Well, what about what I've invested? I've only invested 22,000 in this property. So I've actually created cash equivalent to 21,000 euros. It's like, for many Italians, it's actually an entire year's income, right? Depending on what kind of job you're doing. So it's actually very attractive. Now, taking that 43 and comparing it to the 50, what is the better situation? What if we take it and we do both of them? Now, where does that put us? Well, it puts us homeless because now we have 3 properties that we want to rent. Now, the intention is to buy another property. But the point is that I can take what will happen is I will have 50,000, 43,000, but I will have 1, 2, 3 mortgage payments equivalent to 483 euros. 400, just shy of 500 euros. Can my family afford that? Is what I have to determine. 483 euros to pay just to have this 93,000 euros in my pocket. Okay, so I personally think that is doable, right? Between my wife and I, we actually both work. We're trying to get into a situation using this where one of us is not working as much, like a part-time job, right? So we can be with our family more often. There are definitely some quality of life ideas that pop up in these situations. Do we want to afford it? Can we afford it? I'd say a big yes. We could do all 3 properties, move into another one, and use 93,000 euros to either buy 2 properties, much like the ones I've done previously, or buy one that fits into a different caliber of property, right? A different, let's say a different age of construction, because that's kind of the difference. The quality of technology, how old the property is, its vicinity to populated areas where more work can be found here in Italy. Okay, so there are a lot of factors to consider. Right now it's looking really good. Okay, so let's recap. Option A, my home, 50,000 euros turns into a rental. We cover it with 207 euros a month. We rent it out. We start getting about 93 euros of cash flow. So we have 50,000 to invest. We buy one property and we do it all again. Option B, where we invest, where we pull out 70,000 euros, pay back 27,000 euros, and take that 43,000 and reinvest it similarly to the 50,000, or doing it with both of those and picking option C and just going all out and buying 2 properties, or, you know, this is something we have to find out. What would you do? Tell me in the comments below. Would you pick A, B, or C? All right, it's an interesting concept. Now, attention, do this with a lot of attention to your own finances. Do not follow my advice strictly. Follow some professionals in your area, some accountants and legal advice as well, because like I haven't mentioned, a lot of these strategies work in America. I still need to find out if it works in Italy based on taxation, for example. I don't know if all the taxation laws are similar. So I'm still in the I'm still in that research phase, and I'll let you know what I find out. To make sure you're updated on this kind of information and find out more about the taxes. Now, I'm posting videos every single day, so you can keep coming back to the channel. The best solution would be to hit the subscription and the notification bell so that you know when my videos are coming out, so you can keep track of what's going on over here in Italy. Now, if you like it, so I know that you like it and I know to do more videos about it. You can easily just write down in the comments as well if you didn't like something. Let me know, or maybe give me, you know, constructive criticism is always the best solution. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I've already grown a lot in my capacity to understand YouTube, as well as showing appreciation for the subscribers so far. Most of you are my friends. I'm actually surprised how many people are not from America right now. It's like 10% from the United States. A little bit shocking, but I guess that's because I'm here in Italy. So thanks to all of you foreigners as well. Foreigners. Thanks for everybody not in the United States that's watching this channel right now. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Make sure to share it with friends and family that are interested in real estate, Italy, investing, because that's what we're going to talk about in the future. I guess I'll see you tomorrow.